What do you got for me?
What's wrong with you people?
I got nothing for you.
What's wrong?
You're not David. How y'all feel this morning? I feel rotten. That's how I feel. Well, that was enough for me. We could have had the benediction right there. That was so good.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to The Reformatory, the podcast for the local church and by the local church, and we are your local churchmen. My name is Josh, and I'm here, as always, with one of my closest friends.
Sidecar buddy.
The captain, Jack Barry. Jack,
guy in
friend,
the chair.
The guy in the chair.
Man.
The guy who is going to bequeath to me. Well, not bequeath. I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna buy it. But you're going through some early spring cleaning.
Yeah,
is what I'm hearing.
Some winter wonderland renewal.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
we're getting rid of some stuff, and do we want to save this for the Podlux? I feel like we want to reveal this.
Yeah, it probably would be good. I'm getting something pretty cool from Jack, and I'm excited about it. We'll have to drop some pics.
I'm not gonna say anything right now because I think
it's
it's useful for our Podlux listeners.
It's too soon.
Yeah.
But
but I was on the. I mean, dude, it's like I'll be out to say, like, this is probably the best time my voice has ever been for the last like week and a half.
Yeah, you've been down, like,
dude.
We should probably address the elephant in the room. One, I think your mic's too loud. Can you turn? I think your mic is peaking. It's been peaking the last couple weeks. We gotta turn that down.
How about that?
Is that more?
8 at 11. How about that?
Yeah, that's probably a little better.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So no up last week. You were down with the sickness.
Yeah. Not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Not in a heavy metal way.
Not in a heavy metal disturbed way. But down, like, every time I marcoed you, it seems like you were in like the next level of Dante's Inferno of sickness. And
I think I
nothing
marcoed
happened last week, dude.
I think I marcoed Josh on Christmas because that's when I was like, I think at Christmas Eve, basically that whole day, my wife was just pumping me full of immunity shots.
Yeah.
To get me to Christmas Eve service at 4:00 so we could use childcare. And I got in there and I'm like, man, I feel like somebody just shot me up with some B12 vitamins and said, go get them. And that was about the peak.
Yeah.
Like right after that service, it was all downhill from there, dude. Like basically like 5:30, I was back in bed. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm dead. And then I marcoed Josh on Christmas, just laying in my bed, dying, watching Netflix football and stuff like that.
It was not good. It was not good. No, I was worried about you, man. Yeah.
It was rough. I'm not going to lie. It was rough. It was probably one of the worst because it was all congestion mucus stuff right in the back of my nasal cavity.
I hate it.
And it was like coughing, some congestion stuff, a lot of fatigue, everything like that. And it wasn't fun. So
no.
Not the way you want to spend Advent and or Christmas.
Not
Christmas tide, if you will.
No,
so,
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
How was Christmas for you guys though? Good, other than being sick.
Yeah, I mean, so my wife and my son went up to hang out with my sister-in-law, my father-in-law, my wife's stepmom. I think some other folks were up there as well too. I was out for the count watching Netflix, trying to rest up. My wife, though, the real MVP, dude.
Yeah.
Josh saw it.
I did.
She got me this nice travel humidor.
Do you have it next to you? Do you have
cedar inside? I don't.
Is it not up there? I was gonna say you got to show
think
people.
It's up here. Where
next
is
time.
it? Yeah, next time.
It's a pretty piece.
Yeah.
Well, and tell them like what's super cool about it.
Yeah. So it is the same brand.
Yeah.
If y'all are looking behind me, it is the same.
YouTubes.
Yeah, on the YouTubes. If you all are looking behind me, I'm pointing backwards because this is the humidor that Josh got me for my birthday, 2021, 2021, 2022.
It was a few years ago.
Yeah. Somewhere around there. It was before Thea was born. It could have been 2023.
Yeah, no. Nastia was pregnant.
Yeah,
she was because your it was the birthday before you had Theo. Because we went to that Italian restaurant.
So it was 35.
Yeah.
When I turned 35. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I remember she was pregnant with
Mama
Theo,
Luisa.
so.
Is it Nona Luisa's?
Nona Luisa's, dude.
Ooh,
dude, it's so
I still
good.
remember some of that food. It was coconuts.
It was so good, dude.
Coconuts, man. So Josh gave me this one, which is I think it's called a Claro.
Yeah.
And the travel humidor is by Claro as well too. Has
That's
Spanish
so cool.
cedar inside. It looks. I'm not gonna say it's leather. I think it's pleather or fake leather around
bougie,
it.
though.
It looks pretty bougie because you open that thing up, and it's got little holders. It's got like a waistband for your cigars or something like that to hold them in there.
Oh yeah.
So that's definitely gonna be a if we go to an event and I'm buying some cigars, I'm bringing that thing with me. Yeah, and we're doing something with it. So
for sure.
Anyway. So that was fun. I got that. Gosh, and then I got my wife got me a beard trimmer.
Yeah, man.
And I'm really hesitant on trimming my beard because I feel like I'll get it out of shape somehow.
Okay.
But I'm kind of like, so my friends during COVID actually, one of my friends, Daniel, in our local church, he would trim my beard, and he goes, "Your beard's kind of like, if you think about it, your beard's kind of like an afro. So if you kind of pick it out and then kind of like let it be,
that's the way to do
poofy, and then kind of trim it from there, it's pretty much good, and you can shape it that way. So I'm kind of working off of that model, and I'm like, man,
grab yourself well, I mean, the nice thing is you can always go shorter, right? Just remember that you can always go shorter, right? So what I do, and this is what I did, like when I used to cut hair and beards and stuff like that, you comb it out, right? You get yourself a nice wood comb, comb out the sides, and then you take that comb, get it in there, and then pull it out a little bit, and then run the razor along the comb, so you're not freehanding it. You got a little guide there, right? And just remember, you can always take more off. You can't put it back on, right? So start small, little increments. Guys mess up because they'll just like take a chunk off and be like, "Oh well, all right, I guess I'm shaving it all." And that's unfortunate.
Anyway, so my wife got me a trimmer. So I used it. I usually use it like right here in just the shaping of it, like right in my cheek areas.
Yeah.
So that's been a go-to. I might start using it on my mustache to kind of trim right around this area so it gets out of the way of eating food and stuff like that. I'm not looking like Sam Elliott, for crying out loud, or any of the brothers from Tombstone or something that.
Yeah.
So
Sackets.
Yeah. But yeah, it was there were some good gifts. We got Theo. Gosh, what did we get Theo? We got Theo this like Animal Farm.
Nice.
He's going nuts over that thing. He plays with that thing all the time.
Awesome.
One of his uncles got him a little basketball hoop.
Sweet.
So it's like basically Fisher Price. It's like a put together basketball hoop and stuff like that. You can throw basketballs. He's on cloud 9. So
it's awesome. Dude.
It was like the first time that he kind of actually got some sustainable things that he likes. So anyway, it was good.
Legit. Love that. Dude, I came across something that I feel like I knew that this was a thing.
Okay.
But so I get a text from a buddy, and he shoots me an announcement that a church not really in our area. It's actually a church that I used to attend. They put up on their social media.
Oh gosh.
That they were canceling services for the last Sunday of the year.
I've been hearing this a lot.
I went on a deep dive because I was like, like it sparked a thought. Like I was like, I kind of remember this being a thing, but this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an actual thing. Like it is a trend to cancel services the last Sunday of the year, and the reasoning that they give is to give the ministry teams and the volunteers and the pastors a break from all of the holiday stuff that they've been doing. So they take the Sunday off. Bro.
Dude, this is
I wasn't aware
anathema. Anathema.
I gotta share with you
So
a tweet that I liked today. And
is this Darren's tweet?
It's Darren. Dude,
Oh,
it's
dude.
Darren Caldwell on Twitter. Now, here's the thing. He put it on Twitter, so it's public. So I feel fine sharing this. It wasn't shared in confidence. He put this out there for people. He said this. He said,
I saw this.
He said, if you cancel church to quote unquote rest, he says, you understand neither church nor rest. He says, and all in leadership should step down until they do.
Wow.
And I commented under it with the
spicy. Yeah.
Like
the Bill Hader.
The Bill Hader.
Stefan.
Spicy.
Oh man. Gosh.
But in all, excuse me, real talk. What is this? What is this dumb crap? Who's canceling services?
And I don't think it's specifically just what we would say mega churches either.
No, because the church that I first became aware of, they're not a mega church. They're maybe 100 people, 150, maybe.
So I would say this, like this goes for. I mean, this goes for basically any time we have a year in which Christmas falls on a Lord's Day. This can happen too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, like make it to where your people can gather.
Yeah.
And try and accommodate the best you can. So like this last Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. My wife and I went on technically our anniversary dinner and kind of Saturday kind of getaway.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do it because I was so sick as a dog last Friday.
Right.
And Ryan Wood texts me. He's like, hey man, I'm preaching on Spurgeon. I need another, bearded Baptist bro with me. So you want to read scripture? Because the other guy who's supposed to read, he got called into work because he's actually, he works for one of the airlines as ground crew.
Sure.
Plus he's not bearded either, or doesn't have at least a beard like Ryan and I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, in any case, but yeah, it was just like an easy ask. And he's like, hey, can you do communion afterwards? I'm like, sure. And there was, you could tell, people were out. I think one of the other pastors was away. But we had a very, acoustic kind of worship set, which was nice and refreshing. Yeah. And Ryan preached on Spurgeon and, kind of read through 2 Corinthians, 12 more towards, when I'm weak, he is strong. Mm-hmm. Kind of language and kind of walking through, my grace is sufficient for you, right? In weakness. And so it's definitely seen in the life of old Chuck, to say the least, with his struggles with depression and stuff like that, and other cases. But yeah, it was just like, it felt like to me, that's not a really big ask, but I could see why, if you're a mega church and you rely on all these people coming to your service, and they're not serving, it's almost like paradoxical, and it's almost like not intuitive that you would cancel service.
Well, I'm just like in my head, like there's so many different scenarios that I go through to make, and that's honestly like the last option.
Yeah.
Like have a separate team, have a separate team, like foresee this being a thing and set up a special group of volunteers, have one of the elders, that hasn't preached a whole lot, have him, if you're wanting to take a break, have him preach, have a special team set up to, give people a break. If you want to give people a break, like, I totally get that. That's fine and valid, but canceling service and maybe
canceling service for your poor planning. That's the insult.
That's honestly what I see.
That's the injury.
Ahead.
That's the injury to insult right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
like you didn't think far enough ahead to plan for you and your people to have a break. So instead you just cancel church. And that to me it's so foreign in my head. And it's not one of those things where it's like, well, I wouldn't do it, but I see why people would. I honestly, and look, you can guys, we're real on this podcast. We say what we think. I think it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Okay, you can crucify me if you want. But honestly, especially, call me dramatic, but like that's how you want to end the year.
Yeah,
like you want to end 2024 by
canceling Lord's Day.
Canceling Lord's Day. That's how we're wrapping this up, huh?
Because nothing says my grace is sufficient for you than canceling the gathering of the believers.
Nothing says resting in the Lord's provision for another year, like canceling the means of grace that I am reminded of the Lord's provision through.
It's so cringe. And it's not even that. It's just like figure out a way in which I think it goes back to. I mean, this is what Josh and I have talked about constantly, especially when coming out of COVID. I think Josh and I were both ticked at the ways in which people did not pivot, or at least neglected to pivot their congregation in order that they could meet.
Right.
And especially when we're talking about like Washington, like most people on the West Coast had it. I mean, I think the extremes were basically the West Coast was just basically everybody on Washington, Oregon, California. Yeah. And then everybody on the East Coast had it hard too. Like those were the extremes.
Yeah.
And you saw Capitol Hill Baptist, dude, they pivoted like 3-4 times.
Sure.
And then they sued the city of Washington, D.C., because they basically like banned them from meeting inside, or like even meeting outside. They're like, oh, you aren't following these. You're meeting outside. Like, give me a freaking break here, people. Yeah. So I think it's just the lack of innovation and pivoting.
Yeah.
If you know that people are going to be gone,
still
some people are not going to be gone. And literally for us, it was like, okay, you could definitely tell maybe like a quarter, maybe a third of people were gone, but most people were there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, if most people are going to be there, then why not do this? And at least set that up to where you have teams and you're at least recruiting people to know that you're going to do that. Right. Or at least like a majority of your preaching team or serving teams or whoever is going to be out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, dude, I hate when that happens, and then it leads to this nonsense, and then we have to address it because we're the ones who are seeing this trend as well too, and it's just like, this is dumb.
Well, it's just a lack of priority, right?
Yeah.
And that's and again, this isn't some like rabid Sabbatarian thing.
No.
Okay? Because here's the thing. Like, and we're actually going to do an ep on this in the future. We actually had a listener reach out and request this, talking about kind of how should we approach the Lord's Day if we're like traveling or things like that, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, and I'll get into this more in the future ep when we do it. I don't have a problem if you're vacationing with your family and it goes through Sunday. You can call me a bad Sabbatarian for that. That's fine. We can have that conversation. That to me isn't like. It isn't a question of faithfulness, right? It comes down to, in my opinion, the heart motives and consistency. Are you consistently? Can your life be marked by making the local church a priority, right? And that doesn't mean that you're there every single Sunday of every single year, right?
Yeah,
I understand that. Make it a priority, right? It's not the letter of the law; it's the heart of it, right? Mm-hmm. But this, to me, just reeks of something other than it's just like you're just canceling it. Like you're making that decision for everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Because now what your members who maybe have the conviction of like, no, I would actually kind of like to end the year by gathering with the people of God. Yep. Well, now they got to go find somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And they can't enjoy that time with their people.
Yeah.
The way that we're supposed to. Right. So it's one thing if you make the personal decision to be like, dude, I've got a head cold. I'm feeling bad. I'm on vacation, whatever it is. Like, I'm not going to be at my church this Sunday. That's cool. Yeah. That's a separate conversation than you guys making the decision for everybody in your church. Guess what? We're just taking the Lord's Day off today.
Dude. Okay. So okay,
we're gonna get in so much trouble.
I know. Dude,
Aaron started this. This is Colwell. Yeah. This is Colwell's fault. I'm blaming him. Send all your hate mail to where is it? Hold on. Where is it to? At Darren Colwell on Twitter.
Jeez, make it more
send
obvious.
Send it to him. Tell him the Reformatory sent you,
dude. Okay, you need to watch. I think we should put this. I don't know where we put this. We could put this on our Patreon, or people can go watch it. But when Shane Gillis hosted Saturday Night Live,
I love Shane Gillis.
He did this episode called Church on Vacation, and it was him playing like a family from Ohio, and they're in Jamaica, going to a church in Jamaica. Dude, I love
amazing
so hard. They started to go into the Jamaican dialect into the church service. I'm like, oh my gosh. People, do yourself a favor. Go watch Church on Vacation.
That's funny.
From SNL. Shane
Gillis. Now, obviously the classic, parental warnings. He can be crude and crass.
Yeah,
that dude makes me gut laugh harder than anybody else. Dude, like, you've seen his Trump impersonations?
Oh yeah.
When he goes into that, dude, and it kills me every single time. It's so funny. The dude is hilarious. I saw him on. He was a special guest on some ESPN football show, and he was like razzing one of the guys.
Gosh.
And the guy started getting mad, and he's like, "What? Are we not allowed to have fun on the show?"
He called Nick Saban Alabama Jones because he looked like he had an Indiana Jones hat.
Yeah,
he looked like Nick Saban had an Indiana Jones hat, and he called him Alabama Jones. And Nick Saban looked so ticked, dude. Nick Saban looked like he was gonna kill this guy. Like
one of my favorite things is to see uptight people just be uncomfortable because they're around people that are just having fun, and that was perfect. Shane was having a great time. Alabama Jones over here. He's just you saw him no laugh, nothing. He's like, what? Oh, are we not allowed to have fun? I'm sorry. I thought this was a fun program.
Dude, it wasn't helping that Pat McAfee was gassing him up the entire time.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Oh my gosh, Pat McAfee,
Shane Gillis he's a fun guy. I just saw on Twitter he won,
boy,
and I can say it because I'm white. He won funniest cracker of the year.
Wow! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
They awarded him funniest cracker.
What?
I was laughing so hard, dude.
Wow!
If that offends you, settle down. Settle down. It's a joke. It's so funny.
It's so ridiculous.
Good. Anyway, y'all canceling church is wild to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
People, here's the church, the local church gathering isn't a holiday or a dinner that you can just be like, hey, can we postpone? Can we this is important. This is important stuff. This is a place where people who
means
are
of grace.
The means of grace, man.
Yeah.
Right. The word preached, the elements received. This is where people gain life for another week. And you have people coming into your doors every single week that are bruised and bloodied and broken. And often the gathering of the local church is the one thing in their life that is the constant.
Yeah.
And it's providing them that healing, and it's providing them that community and that encouragement that they desperately need to get to the next Lord's Day. And y'all going to cancel?
Yeah.
Because you didn't plan ahead? Come on, people. Come on now.
And you can even say that this is a telltale sign that like Protestants are not in a good. I mean, this is why people like honestly though, if you're going to give people a way out of Protestantism, like this is a way for it, because like you're not living up to that of what you're practicing, what you're preaching.
Right.
You know, we said all this stuff about not forsaking the meaning of the saint stuff in COVID, and yet we're still gonna like lowball this and still keep going on doing it. Yeah. And the Eastern Orthodox people and the Catholics are laughing at us, guys.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
They're horse laughing us. So it's like, come on, we can't do this.
Get out of here. No, we can't. Anyway, those are our thoughts going into 2025. I am looking forward to church in 2025, man. Like there's some really great things happening. The Lord has been faithful. The Lord is good. We're starting young adults group up again here in a couple weeks. I'm excited for that. Membership classes going to start up again in February. I think I'm going to be helping running those this go around. We're talking about a new liturgy for church, right? Adding some amazing elements that I'm so excited about. 2025 is going to be the year.
Our elders, or at least two of our pastors, told us that we're supposed to be going analog for like the first 8 weeks into the new year. Okay. And they're like, don't bring your phones. Fantasy football is over with. There's no reason for you to check your phones now. And I'm like,
I like that. Everyone bring, guess what? You're going to have to bring your hard copy Bibles.
I mean, yeah.
Everyone get your physical Bibles, people.
I was asking like all the deacons. I'm like, so wait, are we going to go analog? Like we're not going to use microphones and stuff like that? Because we think only one guy could really project his voice to the whole crowd. Yeah. And it's like, no, if you're going to say we're going to go analog, like don't do this like, halfway. Like Jack go full tilt or nothing. Well, that's what I was talking to one of the deacons about who's in my community group, but we'll see.
As the homeschoolers say,
they're gonna take one step. They're gonna take one step at a time. I don't know why I look like Trump for those of you who are watching YouTube right now, trying to make a point. But
we're gonna go no phones.
No microphones. We're only bringing the book. That's it, folks. Okay,
just the Bible. I have a Bible. I have many Bibles. I love them.
He has said this before.
He has said that. Yeah, that's an actual quote. When the Trump impersonations come out, it's time to end the ep. So, Jack, Happy New Year, bud.
Yeah,
I'm excited. It's going to be a good year. I'm excited for what the Lord is doing, what He's going to continue to do, and looking forward to another year of podcasting with you, my friend. That's pretty dope, dude. We're crossing into 2025. 2025.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
going strong.
I don't have any cigar reviews, but I do have a brand, and that brand is Go Smoke Some Apostate.
Oh yeah,
whatever you do. I think Josh and I are both
Apostate's so good.
We feel like Apostate really stepped their game up towards the end of the year, and dude, I'm just saying those cigarillos. I'm hyping it up.
Yeah,
they had these little cigarillos that tasted like cinnamon sugar toast, and it was amazing. So when they drop, we're going full tilt into that as well too. So
all you apostates that cancel church, go smoke some apostates.
Wow,
Jack. Send the hate mail, Darren. It's Darren's fault. Darren's fault. Jack, why don't you get us out of here, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you appreciate Josh and I's focus on the local church and how we should have at least every Sunday have a Lord's Day service on that Sunday, without any extenuating circumstances. Yeah, seriously. You can follow us on the sociables, if you will, to see if you have any further questions about our stance on Lord's Day services and when they should be canceled or not canceled, if you will. Yeah. You can follow us on the Metaverse or the Facebook, if you will. Instagram goes well with chocolate or marshmallow, or the always entertaining sociable, formerly known as Twitter X, if you will. All at the tag @ReformatoryPod. Josh, you can tell the lovely people how they might follow us in our endeavors here on other platforms.
That's right. There are multiple ways you can support the Reformatory. We have a YouTube. If you'd like to watch this as well as listen to it, head on over to YouTube, search for the Reformatory Podcast. Give us a little like, subscribe, comment, hit the little bell for notifications, as the kids say. We'd appreciate that. Like and review and rate this podcast on Apple and Spotify. That's always a boost. We appreciate that as well. There's shirts. Click on the link in the description of this episode. Go get some shirts. Go get some merch. 2025 is going to be a year of new designs. I'm looking forward to uploading some, hopefully some new shirts. But we're selling through Amazon. We keep them quality and keep them cheap. We like doing that. Last but not least, we have a Patreon. And you can join the plethora of legendary listeners that have joined the Patreon. We call it the Podluck. And for a $5 holla, $5, that's all it is, you could become a Patreon supporter, and our pledge to you is that your name shall be hallowed.
Hallowed, sir. Hallowed.
Hallowed through the halls of the podcast. That is our pledge to you. We thank you all for listening, and we will catch you on the next step of the Reformatory.